Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of December 19th through to the 26th, with the Moon and Sun currently moving through Sagittarius. The weekend of these readings, I'm going to use the theme of being blunt. If anyone of you know a Sagittarius or Jupiter energy, you'll know that they are the philosopher and the seeker of the zodiac. They're also the ones who are going to be able to tell you the unabashed truth to your face while they dry your tears and give you a hug, because Sagittarians are extremely precious and so is their energy. So I'm really pleased to be doing a blunt reading for all of my viewers this week, and I promise to do it with love because that's the whole point. So this is a general reading for your sign. Whatever is most prominent in your life, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and I hope that you find them helpful and healing. So Aquarius, what do you need to be blunt about this week? I also want to give a super thank you and lots of love to all of my subscribers and viewers and people who comment. Thank you so much for encouraging my work and for your insight and your feedback, because this makes it worth it. And I just love doing this work. So I plan to continue this in the new year. I'll be back the second week of January with different content. I'll be doing your oracle readings as always, but I am going to be adding some different content, which should be exciting. So I hope that you stick around for that. All the same, thank you for being here with me all this time. So let's just, here it is. Sweet. Aquarius. Well, what do you need to be blunt about? What are you building, basically? What are you building? What are you in the middle of building? Again, as this is a general reading, we're going to suggest that this could be in relation to whatever is actually most prominent and obvious in your life right now. So when we talk about building, if you happen to be an architect, for example, obviously this has to do with what you're physically building. If you're building a family, this is what this is going to be in relation to. If you're building a dream, if you're building a mystery, if you're building a new life for yourself, or in the process of an education, and there's layers of this. Anywhere where there's layers or something that you've already begun is what this is going to point to. Being blunt about building blocks is basically saying, where am I now? What have I built up until now? Because the cool thing about this is that you can just keep going blindly, right? But it's really important to take stock, and especially around winter solstice and Yule, and especially with the new year around the corner, for example. A lot of people spend some time over the next couple of weeks doing a little bit of reflection. So this is a really nice time for you to get blunt about where you're assessing your situation right now in terms of what's prominent in your life. So what have you built up until now? Does it require revision? Remember, we are still in Mercury in retrograde for another couple of days. So we still do have some final touches to put on themes, important themes in our life: revision, re-editing, revisiting, releasing, okay? So it could be a nice time for you to do a little bit of editing around what you've built so far, or just to be clear about where you are currently, and do you want to continue going in that direction, or do you want to switch things up? Remember also, Aquarius, there's no need to necessarily throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's an old term meaning you don't need to break down everything that you've built thus far just to make a change, or just to inject, some type of revision or new life, or even a new agenda into what's already begun here. You don't need to destroy necessarily, but it is a nice time for you to assess where you are currently and where it is that you are going, and to be blunt with yourself about this. And the reason why I'm saying this, and the reason why I know this is going to help you in the long run, is because the influence to building blocks here is all that glitters. This is always the what am I showing to the world, as opposed to who am I really under this mask. Now, we all wear masks. It's kind of human nature, maybe. For example, when I go to work, I have to act, well, I'm being paid to act like I really want to be there and I really love it and there's nothing else I'd rather do. But it's not how I feel, right? I mean, they have to pay me to be there. And you're probably in a similar situation if you're not independently wealthy, for example. And even then, let's suggest for the moment that you are. You're still going to have to move within certain circles, right? Where you're expected to behave and to purchase and to project certain things in order to fit, okay? So this is what we're talking about. The remainder of all that glitters isn't gold just basically means, what are we giving to get what we perceive that we really need? So we're looking at perception here. So this is really a physical or a concrete foundation. If this isn't physical, maybe it's an emotional one. Maybe you've been building yourself up emotionally or psychologically or spiritually over the past however long time for yourself. So there could be some revision that needs to be assessed here. But it probably has to do, or you're being asked to include this sense of what are you projecting into the world? Like, is what you're building here what you want to do for the long term? Do you want to continue wearing this mask? And if you do, what do you perceive it's getting you? And what are you giving up or what are you sacrificing in order to get? Okay. There is a great deal of what it could be in all appearances riches here as well. You could be benefiting very greatly from this. You could be getting free stuff. You could be invited to all sorts of things that look and feel good, but don't necessarily feed your soul. So that's sort of what we're looking here. We're looking at the juxtaposition between the material benefit and what are you giving up or what are you paying for it through the spiritual or mental or psychological or even emotional sense of self, right? And again, there's no, like, you don't have to make a decision here. You don't have to come to terms with anything necessarily. It's just something for you to maybe assess, right? To maybe just sort of, be really clear about here. And here with yin, you're a masculine sign, Aquarius. So it is, and an intellectual one, right? You prefer intellectualism. It's more comfortable than emotions. I get it. So curiously, you're being asked to be receptive, right? In fact, it's what you're asked to do here is to be blunt about being receptive. There's literally only so much any individual zodiac sign notwithstanding can actually physically do, right? We can only do so much before we have to, sit with the results, live with the outcome, listen to our higher purpose, listen to the difference between what we think we're getting, which is really great and comfortable and cozy in the material world, right? And then the opposite of that, which is what happens when we sit with ourselves and when we tally the toll this could be taking on our emotional, psychological, or spiritual world. It's just, yin is basically receptivity, okay? It's also related to the emotions because it allows for you to feel instead of do, right? I'm going to add this most common truism that I'm sure you already know, but it's nice to be reminded. I mean, we're called human beings, right? Not human doings. We can only do so much before we have to be. We just have to be. We have to be with ourselves. We have to be with others. And this mask, I mean, any mask, no matter what it is, gets peeled away eventually. So it's important to know what that being is. Even if you do continue to wear a mask for any purpose here, whether you think you need to or not here. It could be that you just feel that you need to, and that's fine. Do what you need to do right now. But recall here that there is an emotional component here that is worthwhile and will probably benefit you to pay attention to. Here with breathe, these are actually fairly related, even though they don't look like they are necessarily. Yin is a receptivity card, and you can see clearly here what breathe as your general energy for the week is asking you to do in a very blunt, beautiful way is just be still. be with yourself, be with your decisions, be with your habits. Just look at what is built, what you have so far, okay? Because you can edit it. It's your life. You can edit it. You're not a victim of what you've built. And if there is healing work to do, you can get help. And it's important to get help for that. But it's important to look at the narrative that you're telling yourself and you've convinced yourself of. You need to be sure that this is loving and fair to yourself. So this is where breathe or even meditation can help you, particularly this week up until the new year. I did mention for the Capricorn that it's a nice week for you to ask, what do I need to know? Particularly because we have reception energy, right? Receptive energy, yin energy. What do I need to know? Not what do I need to do, or how do I fix this, or what can I do? You can say, what do I need to know? And just let your subconscious answer those questions for you. What do I need to do next? What do I need to know? What do I need to do to improve my life? What do, these types of things. And you can just say it over and over to the ether or to your spirit or to God or what have you. And your subconscious will answer this for you in due time. And it will be fun for you, I think, to do this exercise. Because there is not one question that we can formulate that we don't already have the answer to. So trust that you'll have the answer to this. Armadillo is boundaries. This is really lovely because it's suggesting here that there could be boundaries that need to be met around what is being projected as opposed to who you really are or who it is you really want to become as well. I mean, you're a higher thinking sign. I think you have a lot of, or you may be putting a lot of pressure on yourself to do something or to be something quickly, right? Or faster than everyone else, or faster than you even have patience for, etc. And that's cool, but it's also unfair, right? Like you wouldn't do that to anyone else. You don't want to hurry and stress someone else out. So, be that person for yourself. There is time. You try to be patient with yourself. Again, here, you're going to rely on meditation and breathing here. Just be. You don't have to do anything. You're just fine, right? Here with healing, this is a very critical couple of weeks for you to do this. Healing does occur when we rest, right? It will not occur on any level when we rush or stress or convince ourselves we can't for whatever reason. So healing may be on tap for you over the next couple of weeks. You want to heal old wounds. You want to heal old narratives, whether you've been, whether they've been propagated to you, whether this is a cultural or a familial or even like a media, like what we see on TV, for example. You can heal yourself here. You want healthy boundaries. You want to heal your life. You want to be able to sit with yourself and be fair to yourself. Make sure you're not giving too much of yourself away here to get something that's comfortable for you. Look at what may need revising on something you've been building here. Be receptive. Try to appreciate the emotional world. It is critical to balance both the intellect and the emotions. And then meditation could be your best friend this week in particular. What do I need to know could be the best question you ask this week, and you'll be very happy with the results of what is provided to you. So Aquarius, that is your reading for the week. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Thanks again so much for being here with me. And comment below. I love hearing from you. Like and subscribe to my videos. That really helps me out as well. So until we meet in the new year, I wish you the best and the happiest of winter solstices. Bye for now.